What's
I
up,
know I can't say
everybody?
nothing like that.
Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I'm one of your hosts, Spider, and now I'm joined once again by Mr. VIP Frankie Washington. How are you doing today, sir?
I am infinitely awesome as always, sir. Thank you for asking. It feels so good to be here. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. We got a little bit better quality this time around. Don't know how long it's gonna last, but we just
Don't
gonna
don't jinx it. Don't
knock
jinx
on
it. Don't
wood.
jinx it. Hey, I'm in my glitch phase. I already called it. Glitchy.
Hopefully, it stays.
Glitchy, not itchy.
No, you
Clean.
don't want
I
to
am
be
very
itchy.
clean.
Don't want to be
No,
itchy.
I am very clean. No. There's a difference between a glitch and an itch.
There's a huge difference between a glitch and an itch.
I'm glad you second that emotion.
Look, I just want everybody to know what our stance is on glitches and itches. Want to make this very clear. We may be
Exactly.
glitchy, but we don't get itchy.
There you go. If you are itchy, you may want to get yourself checked out.
You might want to do that. But if you didn't know, this is All Things Super, where every week we take a piece of superpowered
The
movie, TV
PSA
shows,
version.
even trailers, and we watch them, we react to them, we break them down, we review them, and we ask the question, is it super?
Is it?
Is it?
Could it be?
It could be.
Is it?
We'll find out.
Uh,
But if you like
uh,
that, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to follow us on social media, you're getting blurry, you're getting too close. If you want to follow us on social media, just
I
click the
can't
link in
stay
the description
away.
below.
Gotta get close.
Can't get too close.
I know some guys like that. They get like right up on you when they talk to you. And it's like, hey, Mr. VIP, Frankie Washington, I want to tell you something. I'm like, can you just? And then they
Yeah.
don't mean no harm because they
Oh.
just. I'm like, all right, could you? Okay. It sounds like we dating now. Respect people' personal space. This is a PSA brought to you by All Things Super.
Right. This whole show is going to be a PSA.
Yeah, this is a PSA version.
But for this episode, we
Oh,
are
let me fix
talking
that.
about
Sorry.
fix what?
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
his branding. But this episode, we're talking about GenV. GenV has wrapped up its first season of television.
What a twisted little series this is, huh?
I mean, it's in the boys' universe, so it was
It makes sense to
had
be.
to
I don't know if it
expect
could
it.
exist anywhere else.
No,
Golly.
it absolutely cannot exist anywhere else.
We come in, and like you said, it is in a boys' universe. We see the young lady, what's her name? With the
Marie?
blood powers. Marie, yeah, Marie. Because we haven't yet officially given her her hero name. Um, and you're thinking to yourself, man, this tragic story, coming of age, literally hit her coming of age, and then accidentally murders her parents, leaving her and her sister orphaned.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't really know what happens with her sister though.
No, she gets brought up a lot though as a
And
manipulation tool.
and here's the thing: if Marie was a product for her parents, who's to say that her sister isn't as well?
That's true.
There is. There's a very strong possibility that could come into play later on.
Yeah.
And if you have to fight your sister, the grudge is you killed our parents.
Right.
It practically writes itself. That's the show. All
I
Things
mean,
Super is brought to you by the letter A.
but I mean, I feel like it's kind of difficult to fight somebody who has the ability to control your blood.
Yeah, because we recently seen that she has the same powers of Victoria Newman. She can, which makes sense now how she can pop a head. She just have to
Right.
manipulate the blood inside your body. And we've seen Marie pop not one but two extremities. So it's probably easy to pop a head.
I mean,
It's bigger than both of those
sure,
extremities.
sure, you concentrate hard enough, you could probably explode the whole body.
Why not? We
I
out here
mean,
popping.
we
Just
might
change
see
the
it
whole
eventually.
whole Chris Brown song to get it.
No, we don't want to get it popping like that.
Ew, gross.
But for all of our listeners, for all of
But
our
it's crazy
viewers,
that they have those similarities. What'd you say, Spider?
no, I was going to say for all of our listeners and all of our viewers, if they want, they can go and
Glitched.
check our first 3 episodes that we reviewed for Gen V. We have that on the channel. We have that on the
You so
podcast.
you're so
So if you want
gracious.
to
Look how
go
nice
ahead and
you are
check
to
that
just
out.
give people that. See, so giving. Look at that. I wouldn't have gave that to y'all. Shit. Spider love y'all.
Of course I do. Say that
I
there in
love
every
y'all.
show.
I love y'all more though. I just want y'all to know that. I wouldn't have gave y'all that. No, at the same time, we see a choice that has to be made that's ultimately taken away. Because when I brought up I'm sorry, Victoria Newman, uh, telling Marie that listen, you want to expose Vod, but why don't you work the system and like be the first black woman in the seven?
Right.
Think about the things that you could do there. Us knowing the whole story that it's manipulation either way, because we know she works with the seven and Vought, and she's in a political game. It's
Right.
like Marie, you really don't have a win in the situation, and if they want to, they can just make you disappear.
Right. But here's
You
my
really
thing.
feel that. Yeah. What you got?
Even if she were to, for lack of a better term, play ball, right? And they didn't get into, well, I mean, the what happened at the school was going to happen anyway, because I feel like that was an inevitable conclusion. Um, but if she were to play ball, ranked number one at God, you get drafted into the seven. Do you really think that after she was a part of the seven, that Homelander would give her any space to be any kind of vocal activist or to be outspoken in any way, shape, form, or fashion?
I think we have not seen the last of Marie and the possibility of her being in the seven. I think we
I
might
don't know.
also see I think we might also see what's his name? The
Andre?
Andre in the seven as well.
I don't
Though
know about that.
it reminds me of when A Train was in the seven and he was losing his speed force and he had to keep juicing.
Well,
This
it
was
wasn't that
back
he was
in
losing his speed. What it was is that he was so hyped up on Compound V that if he kept running at that speed, he was going to blow out his heart, which he ended up doing.
that was later. Like season one, he used to get high with his girlfriend. He needed the V. He was running. In fact, when he was running against, remember it was a big race, and he was
Right.
scared that he was gonna lose
Yeah.
because he wasn't fast enough. He wasn't until after that he tried to go quit and started having a situation with his heart. That's why they was telling him you can't run no more. Homelander.
Told him he was getting fat.
This dude just rude, man.
It's just, he's just
I
an
got to
all
keep my
around bad
calories
guy.
up. Yeah, that's when you was running,
Right.
but you can't run no more. And the dude don't have no weight on him. It's all mind games.
Right.
But A Train got his new heart now, and he can run. So those are old. They took the V part out of it and just put it on his heart. So it makes sense, because other than that, he was dying.
Yeah.
But Andre can have a similar situation. We already know that he's going to suffer from the same brain condition that his father had
Right.
every time he uses his power. And if he's left unchecked, we're looking at a potential Professor Xavier situation that he could cripple any city that he's in and have a level of magnitude that he was exerting when his father was unconscious.
Yeah. But I'm guessing, I mean, I know it's a threat, but I guess how big of a threat would depend on like how far his powers like reach.
Yeah,
Because I
ratio
mean,
has a lot to do.
you know, we've seen like different forms of it. Like we saw in X3, Magneto carried the whole fucking Golden Gate Bridge, right?
Yeah,
But this is
yeah.
someone who was well versed and, you know, well used to using their powers for 40 some odd years. So we don't know exactly. And I mean, because all of them are still pretty much figuring out what their powers are, what their limits are, what
The
they can and
limits
can't
are.
do. So, but I mean, you know, yeah, just like you
Yeah,
said,
Maurice
with
and every week seems like she's learned something
right,
new.
she's learning
Could
something
take
new.
blood out. I could put blood back in. I could feel when blood's getting clotted. I could see when compound V is in your blood, so I could tell when impurities in the blood. She
Right.
could tell you when you're gonna have your menstrual. Like, god damn, she's convenient as
I
hell.
mean, if it got to do with blood, I mean, she's on top of it. But yeah, but like you say, even with Professor Xavier and Logan, he was having the seizures with it being uncontrollable. You know, I don't think there's a limit to, you know, how much of an area that he'd be able to affect. So I do, yeah, it's absolutely a threat. And I could tell that at the end of the season finale, we could tell that he didn't necessarily want to use his powers, but, you know, he had to save those people in the helicopter.
And then blood daggers. Oh my god.
That kind of caught me by surprise because up until that point, they were trying their best to not kill people. And then Marie just ran up, gave the one chick a heart attack, and then
Hey,
the blood daggers at the
Gene.
other dude. And then we see Jordan basically choke the other guy out. And I mean, they had to be
I'm
stopped.
glad we got to a point now that honestly that Marie's realizing that she doesn't have to use her blood. You know,
Yeah,
that was a realization that she can't just like all this blood around me. Uh, I'll just use that,
right.
and it was the scariest, deadliest thing that you could see at your university for that day, at that particular point in time. Because I wouldn't want to be on the other end of that. Now, here's the thing, Spider.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Homeland and the potential of Marie being into the Seven, but I feel like it's the same thing with Victoria Newman being around Homelander. He's not 100% sure if he's vulnerable to having his head popped. Because remember when he was talking to Victoria, he actually put that threat out there. He
Mm-hmm.
said, try it. Try it and see if you can pop my head faster than I can. I think is either somehow get at her. I don't know if it was laser
It
or
was probably, I feel like the
probably
laser
speed.
eyes are his biggest threat.
Yeah, you don't think his speed into her neck, snap her neck or something?
I
I think
mean,
if that was the case, she might have got because all she has to do is look at him.
yeah. And I mean, with her, I don't know if like because her eyes like go milky white when she's using her powers, so I
Uh
don't know
huh.
if that's like something that's required for her to have to do in order to do that,
Mm.
or if she just requires an
When we go
extreme.
back and see her when she was popping heads in the courthouse, they didn't look real milky white then. So
Well, I also think that the way it was shot, it wasn't focused on her because it
ah,
really only at the moment of explosion that's when her eyes turn and then they quickly turn back. So when
mm.
we're in the hearing and we see the judge's head explode, you know, she's there, but we're so focused on the judge. By the time we turn back to her, it's already over. She's already done it.
Does this mean Cindy from the other institution that she broke out from have blood powers as well, potentially?
No, I don't think so.
Remember, she's a head popper too.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's just necessarily the same power set.
Mm.
I really think they
Just
forgot
asking
about Cindy.
questions on this show. You know what? It's a thread that you can pull back anytime.
Yeah,
Weave
that's
it
true.
back in.
I honestly thought, because I hadn't seen her in such a long time, I thought that one of the students that was in the woods, the chick that had the shaved head, I thought that was Cindy.
I thought that was her too, and I was like, did they catch her again? But it was like, no, because they're just killing these soups.
Yeah.
And I don't think Cindy is going back to anybody's institution
No.
without a head pop or several.
No,
Uh,
absolutely.
we talked about Homelander and how he's a dick,
You're right.
right? And lasered the shit out of Marie. New kid, don't even know her. No clue about her. Comes down. Clearly, he knows enough that she'd attacked.
Kate.
What's her name? Kate with the one arm.
Yeah.
Um, do you think she's getting a cybernetic arm?
Uh,
We have not seen anybody in the boys' universe with any cybernetics.
that's true. I think to maybe keep, I don't know. I'm thinking about like production value and costs. Like to have to CG her arm out for every episode. I mean, I
Mm,
guess it's not that hard. She just wears like a green, like stocking over her arm, and then they just digitally comp
what
it
do they
out.
do with what they do for Guardians of the Galaxy with Nebula in this last thing? She had a carbon fiber made from the destroyer Bucky's arm
Yeah, but
upgrade.
I mean, as far as the arm itself, it was like her actual arm. They just like put, costume in over it. But then, whenever she's using it as a weapon, then yeah, they got to CG that in.
It'll be whatever she wants it to be. I got it. Blades, guns.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, you thought what Thanos did was rough.
yeah.
It was
But
torture.
but like you said, there we haven't really seen anybody else with any type of prosthetics or anything. So I don't know. I don't know if she'll have a prosthetic arm.
But Homelander lasering a kid that he just come on, man. He is not the hero at all.
No, no, absolutely
You
not.
know, notice how his theme music just soured out
It
and
just
just
it sounded like just all wrong notes. It sounded like
it's like,
it sounded vaguely like the Captain America theme, but if you was like a key off on the piano, like your
oh
horns out of
man.
tune, it just sounded like desperately trying to be hopeful and failing miserably at it.
Listen, amongst all these kids, none of them can take down Homelander.
No,
I can't see it.
I
They may
mean,
not know the strength of their powers, but I can't see it. Like, and he's coming in hot. Like, remember when we talked about the boys last time? We talked about how Homelander just out here lasering people's face off.
right.
Just he's coming in the same way. He just lasering people. This
I
guy
mean,
is a
at
monster.
least he talked
What
to
are you?
her first. So
And to say what? To drive the point of same. What do we call them? Same species
yeah, he called her an animal.
crime, dude. What happened to de-escalating the situation?
You know,
Clearly, he could take the whole campus out.
there's no
It
de-escalating
it,
with Homelander. You know this.
it feels like Jedi Order. It feels like you could just come in and slaughter all these kids.
I mean, he could if he wanted to.
I can't see anybody being on the seven with this dude. That's just like
I mean, the deep craves, you know, he craves Homelander's attention. He has to be like kind of next to him. So, I mean, the deep is always going to be there. A Train, I don't know, because A Train was trying to help the boys at one point. So, he flip flops back and
Adrian
forth.
will help. He will help whoever side
Whoever
is.
side is most beneficial for him, he's an
Yep,
opportunist.
who serve his best interests.
Right.
That's what he about.
But I mean, I
I can
feel like
respect it.
if anybody, Marie would have the best shot at taking Homelander just, over the blood manipulation thing, but that's about it. Like other than that, you could like you said, with his speed, you can't keep your distance from him. The only thing you can do is just
No,
control his blood and pop him.
but
If it's possible.
we have to have a seven though. So
I mean, we're only
we're
at three
missing a
right
lot of
now.
members. Yeah, you were missing a lot of members. Cause Starlight left, Maeve's gone,
Yep.
Translucent's destroyed,
Yep.
Black Noir is beaten down to death. It's so sad.
No, Homelander, what, ripped his guts out, right?
Is also true. Yeah, still so sad.
Yeah.
Even sadder. Even Stormfront that was there is now she's 100% dead now.
Yeah.
Um, so we need a seven.
Yeah.
I don't know if none of these kids are gonna. Well, maybe all of them are gonna be in the seven.
Well, I don't think so now that they are labeled like public enemy number one.
This is also true. This is also true. They did such an interesting job of setting up what can potentially be going on in the future. But will we see those matchups that we think we want to see? A Kate versus Starlight, a Sam versus. Well, we got to see if Huey's still gonna have powers in the new season.
I mean, I
Or if
would
Butcher's
think
still
so.
gonna have powers in the new season. Yeah, but we got to find a way to either lock those in or because right now it's killing them.
Yeah.
For those who didn't see last season, welcome to the show.
But I don't think we're going to see Kate versus anybody because I don't really think Kate can necessarily defend herself. She would have to get, like, push somebody else to do it.
This is true. She has to have that physical touch to be able to mind control them.
Right.
Interesting how nobody wanted to touch her after they realized what she's done, and she keeps reaching her hand out, trying to earn back their trust.
Right.
Because Kate's not really the bad guy here. In a sense,
In a
it's
sense, no.
she's defending her friends. She's telling the truth. She's like, your parents sold you for product, and you're defective product. We're all defective. She's trying to find her place in the world. She's been locked up her whole life,
Mm-hmm.
and soon as she gets a chance to be out on her own, she's manipulated by somebody that was very close to her. You have to understand where this young girl's coming from.
Right.
She she can't help what she's doing. She's not trying to. Well, she was manipulating them, but she didn't mean to intend to kill her brother, and she just wanted genuine contact with people
Right.
without it having to be mind manipulation. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she wants to live like that, but she's been used, and now she's feeling like it's even worse. She was used by a human, so she's like, "Screw these humans." And my mom was a human. And screw her
Yeah.
because I didn't mean I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I can't apologize enough, but
But
you did this
right,
to
I was about
me.
to say it's her parents' fault.
I had no knowledge of this. And when it happened, it happened. I didn't even mean for it to happen, but you're punishing me
Mm-hmm.
my whole life for this. So I can see where it came from. Sam's the same way. Like, dude, y'all took me,
You've been experimenting on me.
experimented on me.
Right.
So you told my brother I didn't exist. Me and my brother, y'all experimented on us both for what? To be a part of y'all system.
Right.
So I can understand how they're like, screw these guys.
Yeah. No, I get that. Totally, I get that. I did
And
have
then you
the.
got, oh, go ahead,
No, go ahead.
Spider.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But no, and then I'm saying you got Marie in the gang
Right.
saying that we got to stop them. Like we can't go to VOT, we can't go to the school. The
We have to be
police
the
are
ones to do it.
useless.
Well, yeah. I don't even know if there is a police force in this universe.
So it's the hero's call, right? Like if who else gonna do it? You have to do it. That's the
Right.
call of a hero. Oh, Gen V.
They kind of failed miserably at it, though.
What do you mean? This ain't Shazam and them. You know Shazam had friends
I mean,
and
that was his family. Well, what does that have to do with anything?
they didn't keep the bridge up.
The bridges just stay up. They
No,
just
their
didn't clean
job
up
was
afterwards.
I'm talking about Shazam to let the bridge fall.
Did it fall?
I I would say go back and watch, but then I wouldn't want you to have to suffer through that.
No, I'm not. But anyway, regardless, no, they're not Shazam and family. But I mean,
Family.
they're also inexperienced. They're not heroes. They thought that they were in school to learn how to do all of that stuff. And
You're so right.
who did Marie say it to? I think when Kate was kind of convulsing, and I think Marie was like telling Jordan to give her CPR. And Jordan was like, I don't know CPR. He's like, you're in a fucking superhero school. How do you not know how to render like first aid? That should be like one of the first things they learn.
Hilarious.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it's they're young, they're inexperienced, they're still all getting used to their powers and everything. But so many people died on that campus. First of all, because they couldn't get there soon enough. But on top of that, they were still trying not to kill people. And that's not gonna stop somebody. Because I mean, Kate got to the point to where, because I didn't even know that the social media guy, I thought he was a soup. I didn't know he was just a regular human. But her live streaming him blowing his own head off, that was crazy.
Yo. I like the fact that they show the inexperience. Kind of makes you think about Teen Titans and how Robin was right. You need to train, train, train,
Yeah,
train, so you can have, you can just call out the numbers. D14, Teen Titans go. Everybody know what to do.
right.
Not this situation.
No.
There's no Avengers go. There's no nothing. There's just we lucky they was able to save anybody.
I mean, the only people they really saved were the board, because they were all up in the helicopter.
Hey, you know, lives were saved, Spider.
I mean, this is true. But I
Lives
mean,
were also lost,
right, a lot of
but
lives were
lives
lost.
were saved.
But I mean, all the good it did for them, they ended up getting captured and put into this, you know, clean room, hospital,
Yeah,
something.
but this is what we've learned. This is what we learned through the whole series of Gen V, right? Doing the right thing gets you in trouble every single time.
Yeah,
That's the crutch that they carried through this whole series. Every time they did the right thing,
shit went wrong.
that damn near immediately. It's like, why am I being punished for doing the right thing?
Right.
Like, because this is the wrong universe for that.
Yeah.
This is the villain universe. The
But I
universe
mean,
of the boys.
and and I always talk about how in these shows with the boys and how they, and we were talking about this in the first three episodes, our review for that, how these writers find a way to take a social topic and shine light on it, but also at the same time kind of parody it, like we were talking about with Emma's body dysmorphia and her body issues. We talked about it with
Right,
Marie and like the self-harming and all this other kind of stuff. And we see how
right.
the way it ended up is that your top God use students, Andre and Marie, two people of color, and then you had Jordan, who was a bi-gender, Asian person. So you take them out of the picture, and then who we have as the
Uh-huh.
new Guardians of Godolkin? Two white, blonde haired, blue eyed students, and they're the new Guardians. And it's so clever the way that they are able to kind of just sprinkle that in, but not make like a big deal about it. Like it's the undertones of everything that I find is like just so good. But I just feel like they have a great, just subtle way of being able to work those, like just those little things in and kind of say it without saying it. Because I think that the holding in when they're on the news broadcast, they're announcing the new Guardians of Godolkin and just kind of holding that shot on Homelander's face and seeing that like kind of smile, it was like, okay, we kind of see what they're trying to do here. So if anybody's going to be going to the seven, I think it might be Kate and Sam eventually.
Uh, damn. If that's the case, that's rather fucked up. But
I mean, it would be,
but
but
again, at the same time, it's Homelander is serious about that soup on soup uh crime. You know,
I mean,
he not playing about that.
but it's not like he hasn't done it himself. I mean, I just know that, especially with the way Sam's ideology is right now. With Sam's ideology and how he is now, and how he's in this mindset of soups are better than humans, I think that's the same way that Homelander's always kind of felt like that, but I think he just never really acted on it until we got to the end of season 3 and we saw that he was getting cheered, for lasering a guy's face off. And so now, like he said in his press conference, he was like, I'm tired of, apologizing for who I am, because I'm tired of acting like I'm not better than you, because I am better than you. It's like superheroes
Oh,
soups are better than just normal people. And Sam falls right in line with that.
listen, don't get it twisted. This dude's been unhinged for a long time. Whether
Oh
he's
yeah.
better or not is regardless. He's mentally unfit to lead a line. You know, I wouldn't trust this dude to water my plants. Homelander is a psychopath, man.
Yeah.
And they do a great job of bringing that psychopathic villainy in. He is twisted. You don't know which way left will be or which way it will go. Having a conversation with him is frightening. In the hallway when he and A Train and the Deep were having a conversation, you at any given point in time he could have laid anybody's face off right
Right.
then and there.
And
Just
nobody
you
will stop
felt
him.
that. Nobody is gonna check him because nobody want their face lasered off.
Right.
So he is a powder keg waiting to go at any point in time, and he's getting close and getting close. And the only deterrent we have is the one that Victoria Newman possibly have. We don't know if this toxic chemical actually can hurt Homelander. We don't know F what was his name? Um the one they put back on ice that showed up in the show.
Oh, Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy. We know if Soldier Boy's chest vest will be able to take Homelander's power. But that's what we're looking at. We're looking at things that can eliminate Homelander. Like, that's the only reason they went got Soldier Boy, because of the potential of taking him out.
Yeah.
He was the weapon. It was the weapon. We were looking for a weapon. He was it. So they needed the weapon. Found out that Soldier Boy was a weapon. His chest blast was supposed to take out Homelander. So there you go. We got that. Soldier Boy again unhinged, so the
Yeah.
seed don't fall from the tree. So they had to put him back on ice. So now we still need a weapon, and now Victoria Newman has potentially a biological weapon that can take out Homelander.
Right.
So she's a huge, she's the most critical person in this whole universe. She kind of is still running VOT since she got Edgar ousted. So she's still running VOT.
I mean, she's
She's
not
on the police.
running Vought because Ashley's in Stan's Edgar's place now.
You think she's not going to answer to Victoria?
I don't think so. She hasn't up to this point. I mean, if Victoria becomes the vice president, then I think that'll be a different story.
I think she's going to be the vice president. Then the president's going to get, it's the
That
boys'
popped.
universe. Unalive, we like to.
That too.
Cheerio. Pop. 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 Pop, pop, pop. So I think she's gonna get bumped up after that point.
Yeah,
And then we'll see her as president. She'll be the first woman president in the boys. I don't know. That's
potentially.
first potentially.
But no, and just kind of going through some of the mid parts of the season, they did a great job of kind of like camouflaging who in the end, after everything was said and over and done with, who's going to be on top. Because we had no way of knowing all as we go throughout the season. Because first it looked like Shetty had something on everybody and nobody could touch her, right? And so we're thinking she's going to succeed in this plot that she has in order to create this airborne virus that only attacks soups. But then the final confrontation between her and Kate, where she's telling Kate how much she loves her and how much she thinks of her as her own daughter and all this other kind of stuff. And Kate's like, "You're telling the truth."
You're telling
And
the
she
truth,
and she's like, "There's just one last thing that I need you to do, and then we both can, just leave and run away." And the next time we see
right?
them, you know, she's
Shit hit the fan fast.
right. So I was under the impression that we were in another like simulated experience. Like
Uh
Kate
huh.
Kate was off her meds. So I think that I was thinking that she had pulled them into like this sort of not necessarily
Illusion.
hallucination. Right, but an
Yeah, I mean
illusion.
they were just in her mind.
Right.
They were just in her mind, and they just got back. So I think
And
that
so
was done
when
deliberately.
yeah. And so when Shetty like just straight up cut her own throat, I was like, "Oh, okay. This is like this is just gonna be they're gonna make them think that Shetty's dead so they can get away and not have to worry about anybody coming looking for them." And then when Kate was like touched Marie and said, "Don't help her," and you sitting there, you're watching her bleed out, and you seeing like the flashbacks cutting back to her parents and seeing Shetty, and her parents are Shetty,
Oh,
and
horrible is
Kate
that?
still
And she knows that,
right,
and
she's
she
reading her
can
mind.
sense
She's
that.
like, "I'm sorry to make you have to relive this again." And it's like, oh shit, Kate really made her kill herself. That's like when it really became real. And I was like, uh-oh, we might have a problem.
Are we seeing the Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey storyline done the right way through Kate's character? Potentially the Wanda, because
No, I just
I
I
wouldn't say
just feel like
Wanda
it's
because
different.
that's she could warp the whole reality,
Right.
but
But I
Kate has the
mean,
ability to like make the world what she wants it to be,
within reason, I would think, because I
but
think
not too
even after
much.
a certain point, like her body starts to kind of break down. Because I mean, her eyes were like full red,
Yeah, we've seen that.
so like she didn't
Yeah.
even look like a regular person anymore. That's like a villain origin story thing right there. You just got somebody that,
Well, I could tell
because
you
it's like
what.
such a contrast with all of that being red and then her like bright blue eyes.
I'll tell you what. She's not in the forgiving mood since she got one arm now. I can
Oh,
guarantee
absolutely
you
not.
that. She Maria, if you ever want to know who your nemesis was, I think we got
You
that
don't have to look
answered.
far.
You
And then
don't
it's
have
not
to
even
look
like
further than
it wasn't even like it was like chopped off to where she could like get it, put back on. It's just exploded, like fully gone.
pop goes the weasel. It's like you can't even reach out and touch somebody with that arm. It's
I mean, that's what she was
gone.
trying to avoid. Kate was going for
She
Jordan.
wasn't. I thought she was going for Andre.
No, she was going for Jordan because Andre
Oh yeah.
was
Oh
somewhere
yeah.
else.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not gonna touch her people. No.
No, right.
Don't touch them.
Them in
You're
that
not.
budding
You're too
relationship.
close. And plus, if you do turn him against or them against me, I don't know if I can necessarily win that fight.
Oh, absolutely not. Because I mean, they say that Jordan is the masculine form of Jordan is what, like super strong and indestructible somewhat.
Almost indestructible. Because remember, whatchamacallit shot him.
Yeah. Brink
Shot him and shot
shot him shot
shot
him
at him.
shot at him while he was in a feminine form
Right.
and immediately turned into masculine form in order to protect themselves.
Yeah, you don't want that smoke. I don't know if she
No.
can she can she pop his head though?
I mean,
So many
I'm
unanswered
sure
questions, so
because
I don't know.
I really don't think that I'm sure that she didn't mean to blow up Kate's arm. It was
I am
reactionary.
100% positive that she did not, but there's still an arm missing.
Right. And
I'm telling you.
there's
And
no way to unexplain that. Or there's no way to
it,
explain or justify, what I did was the right thing. And like you said, with
and
Homelander coming down at the tail end of it
yeah, don't
and
even know.
don't even know what was happening, what was going on,
You don't know what's going on.
he just sees Marie and blames her.
He just an
But I mean,
asshole.
and again,
Cause she,
go
yeah, let's be honest.
right,
Cause she's, you know,
right. Going into it is like, okay, I see who's out here, so I know who's the problem.
oh, this is horrible.
What kind of animal are you?
Ah.
But
And the
here's my
thing she idolized, never meet your heroes.
right. No,
Never
never meet
meet
your
your
heroes.
heroes.
No, absolutely not. But the one thing that I didn't get is that we get the
Huh?
Homelander laser blasted Marie in the chest, right?
Yeah.
And so she went out.
I mean, but we seen people survive his blast before. Stormfront survived getting laser to the chest. In
Yeah,
fact,
but
she got
she's
turned on by
also
it.
invulnerable. I mean, other we is it that all soups have some form of invulnerability? Like, because we know that Andre was able to take a few punches from Sam a few times, and was able to get back up and keep fighting, and to the point to where he was able to punch Sam and like knock Sam down.
I think there's a level of durability, yeah, but we're still looking for Homelander's weakness. We have
Right.
yet to find one. Is it milk? Is it dairy? Is it, you know?
I mean, that's his psychological weakness for sure. Just not physical weakness. No, but my thing that I'm wondering about is Andre, Marie, and Jordan were all out like in the field area where the helicopter was. Emma wasn't. The last time we saw Emma, Emma was in the theater arguing with Sam. So
Right?
when they all got picked up, how did they know to put Emma with them? Did Sam and Kate rat her out? Because I mean,
Uh,
she's the only one that wasn't out there like physically involved with all of the fighting and everything.
yeah,
So how come she got picked up?
I think at this point, Kate's snitching on everybody. Half her own gone. So,
Yeah.
I'm, I'm like, it's like Denzel. I'm taking all y'all to Pelican Bay. Like, yeah, everybody catching cases. I'm putting it all on. I'm airing it out. It's horrible what's going on, man. I mean, Gen V, wow. Wow. Don't sign me up. I don't even want no brochure from them. I don't even want a pamphlet. This is horrible, man.
No, and
You
it's
just think about it. If you came to school just to go to school, now you fighting for your life. Golly.
I mean, and there were so many more humans on the campus than I thought that there would be. I mean, I know like faculty and staff were humans, like they didn't have suits like custodians or, security guards and stuff like that. But I think there were like some students that were human too. And I just thought it was like a superhero university. So I didn't think they would actually have human students.
I don't know. That's a great point. Why would you have a human student that's honestly collateral damage if they don't have that, like we just said, that durability or, you know, being able to withstand a blast or, knives or psychological attacks or, you're there. They're supposed to be there to learn how to use their powers,
Right.
but it
And
seemed
become
more
better
like,
supers.
well,
Or
what
to
are they
become more
learning in
marketable, I should say.
class?
I mean, they
Because it
learn how to.
clearly ain't first aid and CPR.
No, it's definitely not first aid and CPR. They learn how to conduct, how to
Are they learning how to
answer questions in interviews.
minimize damage?
I mean, I don't even think they learn that.
What about property damage and,
That's not a
crowd
concern to them.
crowd maintenance? I mean, backup from perimeter,
Nope,
let's form a perimeter.
not
Nothing
a
to
not
see
a
here,
not a
backup.
priority.
How about interdimensional attacks? Or maybe they set up something out in space for alien attacks.
I think you
Or
are thinking way outside of the scope of what they're concerned about in this show.
a lot of people gonna die, Spider. That's all
I
I'm
mean, a
trying to
lot of people
prevent.
have
A
died
lot of people.
through
And then
three seasons of The Boys and one season of Gen V. There's quite the
well,
body count.
with the boys coming up on season 4, I'm anticipating a lot more people dying. And with that weapon that Victoria Newman has, who knows if Homelander is gonna be him? Because one thing we have seen is he is going to go on trial for lasering that guy.
Right.
And if convicted, could this be the time that we see Homelander say, "I'm not going to jail, make me"?
Right.
And you know,
There's
I don't
nobody that
know.
can.
I don't think Butcher can, because
No,
again,
absolutely
the
not.
Compound V that they're on, though they're on a newer version, which is I think the Compound 24 or V24, which allow you to have the V for 24 hours or whatever,
Right.
still is
Excuse me.
killing them.
Yeah.
So they don't have a stable version yet. So even if it's a fight, if it goes the distance, he ain't gonna win.
I mean, they already had the fight in the TV studio where he was on the Temp V, the V24, and he still struggled.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have a contingency plan. And even though the contingency plan that they have with Lil Ryan, Ryan ain't in the position that he will fight his dad.
No,
You're not even mad at him.
I don't know. I think at some point throughout the season, Homelander's going to do something. He might like lash out at Ryan, and I think that might sour their relationship a little bit. I don't think it'll get to the point to where he would still like fight Homelander, but I think he'll see that even though he did kind of have a smile when he lasered that guy's face, I don't think he'll like fully go that route. I think he's going to see that Homelander goes too far.
Hmm.
But we're not here to speculate about season 4 Gen V of The Boys. We're here to talk about Gen V. So season 1 of Gen V, Mr. VIP Frankie Washington, was it super?
Listen, just because these guys set up and ruled the back of the boys and came in with these new characters, this new storyline, these new parodies, these new graphics, it's new. It's new. It's new. You know, like all new things that come in and is shiny and is and you know, you look to see what it's gonna do. Well, it's clear they did this one. I think it's super. I can't lie. I think they came with, in the same vein as the boys and gave you everything that you love about the boys and expanded on that world building, setting up the boys season 4, but still having their own characters, their own identities, their own issues, their own, ailments. Look at what they did with Lil Tic Tac, Lil Emma, you know, how Sam ripped into her and she thought she had a disorder that she can get big or small from puking and eating, but it really is emotionally driven. It's how she feels inside that makes her, man, that's powerful.
Yeah,
I feel small, so I am small. I
right.
feel big. I am big. And notice what she did when she was big. She partied. I feel big. Ah, look at me. But
Just
when I
full
feel
of confidence.
small, yeah, I'm fighting mice when I'm small. I feel down. It's all about how you feel. That's crazy that they was able to wrap that inside a superhero story that ain't a great place to be. It's like there's no there's no triumph for this. Like you gotta
No.
sit in this and feel this and yet and still have those revelations in those moments that when those things come to pass, it's like, wow, that's deep, that's thoughtful, that's thought provoking, and still when we have those moments, they feel so genuinely earned.
Right.
But I'm gonna ask the question of Spider because my expectations are not as high as Spider's
I don't know
expectations.
why you
Those
think I have high
expectations are
expectations.
because they're out of this
My
world.
expectations are just as high as anybody else.
I don't know about that statement or
I
how
mean,
true it
you
is, but I'm
you've
gonna ask the
seen
question,
the
Spider.
the man babies on the internet and their high expectations. I am nowhere near that.
I w- you're not a man, baby, so you don't even qualify to go in that
I'm just
category.
saying they have higher expectations. They have unrealistic expectations.
They just don't want Brie Larson to do nothing.
It's not even about Brie Larson. It's about all female led movies, all minority led movies.
It's time for the old guard to make a sequel, so it could
What's
be a
Six
changing of the
Underground needs to make a
old
sequel.
guard. No, they're not gonna do it. Netflix.
Oh well,
Maybe somebody will come along and buy the rights.
doubt it.
Okay. Spider.
Yo,
Is Amazon Prime, which I know they don't want us saying all these other goddamn people name in their video. Is
I mean they're
Amazon
not paying
Prime's
us.
cut the check,
I mean, if
Amazon?
you want exclusivity, you got to come with the money.
I mean, hey, that's usually how business is done. But is Gen V super?
One thing I enjoy about Gen V
Uh-oh,
is
here we go.
how, if you're a fan of the boys, which
Right.
I don't know how you can watch Gen V and not already be a fan of the boys, but
This is also true.
for those people who watch the boys and they've kept up with it for the first 3 seasons and then going to Gen V, I like how it is, you know, almost seamless because it really does feel like everything that's happening in the world of the boys is happening, but at the same time, here we are at Gen V, and it's just like everything that we've gone through in season 3 could just, be happening at the same time that we're going through this crisis at God U. And I know that because Gen V got renewed for season 2, so we're gonna go into season 4 of The
Mm-hmm.
Boys, and I feel like season
Mm-hmm.
4 of The Boys is gonna flow right into season 2 of Gen V, or they may have some overlap or something. But
Yeah, it might squeeze diabolical in there. I would treat it like a what if situation. Here's the one thing I want to say before you go to the next point that you're making, Spider. All that's gonna happen,
mm-hmm,
everything that you just said, and in that process, while that's happening, I want you to know something. I want you to know that chimps don't cry. Go ahead, Spider.
yes, Gen V is super. Yes.
They don't cry.
Why?
They don't cry.
Why do we need to go back to that?
She was before her time, man. Gone too soon, Crimson Countess. Gone too soon. Chimps don't cry.
But anyway, but no, it's it was a really well written show. I There's really not anything that I found fault in with the show. Like, I'm sure that there are things that weren't perfect, but at a at an initial glance, just I've never gone back and watched an episode more than once. Just watched the first way through. And going off of the reactions and the things that I saw, on just that single watch. I didn't see anything that was like horrible. I didn't see anything that was just like, oh, this kind of just takes me out of everything. But no, it was really well done. The action was really well done, and it wasn't like it needed to be, action packed. And like I said in our last review, I had to get out of my mind like this is not just your regular teenage type show or college age type show. This is, something completely different. So it wasn't like with the high school, college teen drama, all this other kind of stuff. Like the drama that they had was real like crazy situations that they had to deal with. Um, but no, the whole thing with the revelation of the woods to breaking Sam out and trying to keep Sam safe, and Sam's whole kind of like naive, I don't know how the world works type of person, going all the way up to he just wants to be included. He's spent his entire life, as long as he can remember, in seclusion, and so now he has somebody who wants to do stuff with him, so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go and go roll with them. And they just happen to go to the town hall, and he gets exposed to this rhetoric that soups are better than humans. And then he thinks about it, and he's like, what have humans done for me? All I've done is caused me pain and misery, so yeah, I'm gonna take my anger out on them. And he goes to him and he's like, you don't understand what I've been through, because everything that you've done has been for likes, for clicks. You've had this lifestyle of having these advantages that I was never even given the option to be able to have.
Mm,
And he's like, everything that you do, you're doing it
mm,
for yourself. Because if you were doing it for me, you would at least see my side of it, and not tell me not to
mm,
hurt people when,
mm,
I'm going after the species of people, who cause me so much pain, who cause a lot of soups so much pain, you know? And
mm,
it's just
mm, mm.
everything was just beautifully structured in this show. And I'm looking forward to season 2 because I feel like all they're gonna do is just get better. Because I feel like that's what the boys have been doing. Every season has gotten better than the last. They've continued to raise the stakes and I don't know how they can raise it anymore in the boys, but I know that there's still more story to tell in Gen V. Um, so I'm interested in seeing it. But yeah, I think it's super. I think it was a real great show.
They utilize their cast well, and having
Absolutely.
them come in at the end as an add-on and a pop wasn't necessary, but ties it in well.
Yeah.
I don't think it needed it, but it does tie it in officially well. That's the way you do a cameo,
Right.
right? You don't bring them in early. But then the whole show was filled with cameos anyway. We got
Yeah. Just
Soldier
kind of
Boy back.
sprinkled
Yeah,
in. You know, we got Soldier
yeah,
Boy, we
Victoria
got
Newman showed up.
Victoria Newman, we had, the director of the Dawn of the Seven, we had Ashley show up, and then of course we had Homelander come in, so it's and even
We
with
had
the
cuts of A Train.
yeah, Cuts of A Train, you had the deep, like his cameo for Brink's funeral.
There
So
you
he had
go.
his little cameo, finishing in sixth
I
place.
I love how you think about it. This universe
Right.
is just based in reality, right? Here's the thing:
Mm-hmm.
you have an evil corporation who decided that we have basically super soldier serum
Right.
that we give to baby to create super people,
Right.
right? We don't know what abilities that they'll have. We just know they'll have abilities, and if there are abilities that the company wants, we'll take your child on and we'll make them a part of a superhero team. Or they could potentially, protect the city.
Right.
This is VOT. This is the company. That's what they're going on. They're not in the superhero business. They're in the business of superheroes or whatever the old slogan used to be. But in that process, you have defects.
Right.
Like we see no diabolical. Some powers are not really worth anything. That's the offshoot for, you know, the experiment.
Right.
VOT still compensates you, and they'll even take the kid off your hands if you don't want the kid anymore because usually the parents can't handle the kids
Right.
because they can teleport and they're down the street and like I can't keep up with this kid. They breathe and fight. Think about the Incredibles. Think about Jack Jack, but they had powers.
Right.
They had powers to combat Jack Jack, and they still couldn't really
Yeah, Bob
combat
still
him.
still had problems.
So they'll take the kid, but now they take the kid and they put him in institutions like Red River and other places. I'm sure there are more,
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
not like the woods. The woods is different. They're experimenting on these kids to see what makes them tick. That's horrible.
Yeah.
It just is. And then to use them to a point that they murder them to build essentially a bomb that could take out a psychopath that could potentially take out everybody on the planet. Think about it. Think about these moral entendres and constructs against each other. Because if it was not for the experimenting on those kids, we would not have stopped Homelander. You want to make a good show, give us those conflicting uh, points. Because now you have an argument. You're like, well, who's right and who's wrong? God damn. For the greater good. Look
Right.
how we had to get it. Look how we had to get it. But if we don't get it, look what the alternative is.
Right.
If you want to make something iconic, you have to base it on something that's two opposing sides that you
You need
cannot
that
find error or wrong.
you
Just
need
like
that
like
moral
you're saying
dilemma.
with Sam. Sam feel like all humans did was hurt me. They killed my brother. They hurt my brother. Why should I have
Like
why should I have
compassion.
love for them?
Yeah.
Exactly. But at the same time, you know, Soup shouldn't go on a killing human spree.
True.
'Cause I don't have, normal powers. I just, hey, I don't want to have to go through that.
And I mean, like the teachers. Like the teachers didn't do anything wrong. They were just, as far as we know, they were just there doing a job, collecting a check. They just so happened to be a teacher at a super university.
Isn't that how horrible school shootings are? That's
That is
horrible,
true.
man.
That is
That
true.
is horrible. They put so much of real life into their show and so much of parody into their show and so much current events and so much listen, you want to make something people talk about, Amazon. Y'all earning that smile logo. That's all I'm saying. y'all earning it. When they changed it from the little Hitler stash to the little smile, I was like, oh, they own us something right here. Now when that package come, it has Gen V on it.
Okay. But let us know what you thought about the first season of Gen V. Did you enjoy it? Did you have any problems with it? But leave us a comment and let us know what you
I
thought
ain't
about
like
it.
how that girl had blood all over the place. That's nasty.
I mean, it was
I don't
pretty
know.
nasty.
I don't know
They
where the sound came.
how many times did Marie get covered in blood throughout this throughout this season? It was like almost every episode she had somebody else's blood on her.
Listen, this is wild. That's crazy. I can see her having a Carrie moment though from the Stephen King.
Yeah, but I mean, if she has a carry moment, then everybody in that gym is gonna die.
Listen, I can see that happening right now because I don't know where they got these kids at with no doors, but I can guarantee you somebody's gonna come in and check on them some kind of way, and unless they coming in with a teleporter, she go probably take control of the situation real
Right.
fast. Cause I didn't see no collars, I didn't
No,
see no
no
inhibitors or any.
inhibitors, no dampeners, no neutralizing agents. I don't know.
You
They could
better
have they
spray the
could have
room.
injected him with something. I don't know.
Well, she can feel it if she felt the tracker
Well, I
that was in
mean,
her neck,
like fluid based, not necessarily like
like nano.
technological. Well, I mean, just like something to like counteract the compound V in their systems, kind of like a virus, flu like almost maybe.
Man, y'all suck. This is why they want to kill us. Why you got all that stuff readily available?
Got to keep them in check. You got to have a contingency plan. Ain't that what Batman do?
God. But the way we got it though, the way we got
I
it.
mean, no, I'm definitely not saying it's right or if it's ethical, but I mean they do it. I
Thank
don't know.
God they did.
But we'll see how it turns out in the next season. But just remember, if you like this episode, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to follow us on social media, just go ahead
I'm
and click
quick
the
with it,
link
Spider.
in the description below.
Hey, if y'all leave comments, we go read them in another language, but only inside our mind, so you wouldn't be able to hear it. But I can guarantee you it's a language that you don't know, unless you know all the languages.
Okay. Well, I'm excited. I don't know exactly when season two is coming out, but I will definitely be looking forward to season two. Do we even know when season four, The Boys,
Oh,
is coming out?
hey, listen, I can answer both of those questions. Not today. I'm pretty certain we'll get to season 4 of The Boys in 2024,
Four, early 2024.
and we'll get Gen V probably sometimes after that because we don't need The Boys in Gen V
No, we don't
to
need them
shoot
like
Gen.
running at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying they don't. I don't think they're gonna cross over. I think they're gonna probably do another season or two before the crossover Avengers versus X-Men type of boys versus. They
Gen
may put
V.
them in another school.
I mean, what other
I
school
mean,
would they even want to go to another super university? Because I mean, wouldn't it just feel like it's the same thing all over again? Who do
listen, they
you
gotta
trust
learn
at
how to
that
use
point?
their power. You
No, I
can't
agree.
trust anybody in that whole universe.
Exactly.
Can't trust the guy on the street. You can't trust anybody. You can't even go to listen. Translucent was hiding out in the bathroom in the seven.
Right.
Like and his son's like sleeping with goats. So
Alpacas.
oh yeah, you know what? You are so right. I am so wrong. I, bestiality is still bestiality in my eyes. But
The thing about it is like they kept referring
you
to the
can't see
alpaca
it.
as Sloan, and I thought at some point they were going to, if their power was to turn into animals, I thought at some point we would see them as a human. But every time we saw Sloan, Sloan was an alpaca.
Don't mess up what he got going on. Well, he ain't got it going on now.
I mean, he
Is he
just
dead or is he
no,
just?
he's just knocked out.
Oh, okay. His family lineage is not winning.
No, not at all. But at least he didn't go out like Translucent did.
The future is yet to be seen.
That is very true. That is
As we
very
talk
true.
about the boys, good dad, you could die the way your daddy died.
He can die a whole lot worse too.
This universe is horrible.
It really is. There's a
I don't
lot.
I don't want a post stamp from you.
Where that letter come from? Oh, that came from the boys' universe. Burn it. Burn it now.
Send it back. Get it out of here.
Return to sender.
Get it out. Don't you touch it. It might have Drax on it.
You got something. But no, we are absolutely looking forward to season 2 of Gen V as well as season 4 of The Boys, and we will be back with reviews of those shows as well when they do release. But thank you so much for joining us this episode. We love and appreciate all the support. We will be back in the next one, but until then, just remember, keep being super.